Well, hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at XRP in the face of this massive dump. So people on my Telegram and Patreon and things, and generally people who subscribe to this channel, you all know that I've been expecting a bit of a pullback, and that's fine. And level by level is where we take things. And at the moment, I would say that, as always, XRP is a relatively good coin for level by level trading. First area of some major support has more or less been tagged. It's about $1.10. Prior to that, there was a support around 116, which has been sliced right through. So we can get rid of that, although we can entertain the idea that 116 is now going to be a resistance. But we can also look at that and say, well, also that's the center of this Bollinger Band and the 21 exponential as well on the daily. So broken through that one, come down to this second level here. Now, where would we come down to next before we start to entertain the idea that we've gone bearish? I'd say, to be honest, it's around about $1.05 to 6, but it's a bit of a boxy area. So rather than putting a specific level in that's nice and simple to look at, we'll put in a box of between $1.06 and $1.04, and this would be the main area I would say to remain like very bullish on, because these are all relatively important areas that have been tagged on this massive uptrend. So again, XRP looks messy to the untrained eye, but it's really not. Again, this is why we talk about XRP frequently. It's not because it's the best thing you've ever seen in your life, nor would it have been the most appropriate hodl from the beginning to the end so far anyway. But is it a very tradable chart? I believe it is, and I think if you're interested in trading, you should try and get your head around it. Bitcoin's a good chart to trade. XRP is also a good chart to trade. Because they're both very old, and because of that they respect their moving averages, they respect their indicators, all these sort of things. They are quite well respected. So we've come down to this level here. Now, am I expecting a bit more further downside? It's not that I'm expecting it, but I'm prepared for it, because Bitcoin, in my expectation, can come down lower. If we broke down below 60, which is where we're hovering right now, we should be talking about 58, 59,000 before a major bouncy level. And a bounce for Bitcoin, I think, will correspond to the overall market. The market will bounce with it. Altcoins are still quite bullish. If we look at over here on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is here, then yeah, we're looking for a basically continuation down on the Bitcoin dominance chart. It doesn't have to happen, but if it does, it just basically means that altcoins will outperform Bitcoin consistently. It's only when we break above the 20 weekly that I think that Bitcoin will completely outperform altcoins, and at the moment we're not. So we take things level by level, and that's the setup that we've got at the moment. So a bounce of Bitcoin will be felt across the market. So whether we bounce from here or we bounce a little lower, no big deal. So we could be looking at the bottom of this Bollinger Band. We're talking about $1.04 before we put in a major bounce for XRP. We could be bouncing from here. Now, I'm not suggesting everybody go crazy on XRP. I'm just explaining it because it's a coin that I personally am trying to get clever with, and I don't use futures very often, but I have been using it recently. I used it on the way up here, and now I'm basically getting interested in trying to use it again. Not today, even though I am expected a bounce, but I long into strength. This is something I try and put across to people. You long into strength and you short into weakness. Longs are for bull markets, shorts are for bear markets. We're not in a bear market, so shorts are off the cards. The shorts are off the table. Don't try and get clever with shorts when you're in a bull market. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of silly thing to do. However, longs, very appropriate at appropriate levels in times of strength. Is this times of strength? No, it's not. Are we going to get times of strength again? Yes, we will. And the first thing we've got to find out is where are we going to bounce from? Is it here or is it down here? And if it's not down here, then we might get our opportunity to revisit the 200 exponential moving average, which for anyone who likes XRP knows that there's a very, very strong possibility that would happen. And if that's the case, that's one of the best places to ever go to town on XRP. We break out from it over here in the bull market. This is where the bull market began for XRP, after this giant consolidation, right? So even in the consolidation, we used this as resistance, bit of a break above it. This is when the bull market began in 2019. Not that it looks that way for XRP, so that's where the bull market began. Yeah, we broke above for a little piece of time, but most of the time we're below it. Resistance. This was an attempt to break out, and then the situation occurred with the March crash. And finally we went bullish from this level here. This is where things got very interesting. Finally broke above it, came down to reaccumulate around it, broke above it. Then the SEC FUD took place, didn't it? SEC FUD broke down even lower than it should have done, Again, broke above it, retest from it, and all the way up here, retest, retest, retest. Bit of a breakdown with the market. This is a dodgy time with the market, but generally speaking, we reaccumulate around it. All the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Notice that the 200 exponential is facing up. It's bullish still. It's bullish still. This is not a bearish chart. This is a good looking chart on the long term. But obviously, if you're thinking about using futures and derivatives, then you do need to be very careful, and you obviously don't want to be going crazy on anything. And I certainly suggest that if you're not attuned to the chart itself and have your head in the right place, and don't do it. But as far as this chart's concerned, I'm still very much bullish on it, even if we come down to a retest from here. And for me, as somebody that's looking to get a nice tasty long for the rest of the market cycle, potentially, then this would be an excellent place. And most people, if you see this happen, you see this wick come down from here to here, and you see this candle revisit and smashing through all of these all the way down here, you will see people flapping around outside like nothing else before. It'll be like, you know, it'll just be, people will be rioting on the streets, you know, they'll be ripping their clothes off, running around in their pants, screaming, it's the end, oh my God. No, not at all. It's a range that's being traded, it's a trading range to be traded. Trade the range, right? Anyway, immediately, of course, I'm expecting more downside. I've been expecting more downside over these last few days. We're getting that downside. It's not in any way a surprise. And, you know, for me personally on this XRP chart, I would really welcome an opportunity, not to essentially buy or long that exact position, but to see, you know, XRP revisit that level, which is currently just below $1. It would be relatively exciting for me, because it means that if I can long from a lower position once strength turns around on this chart, then I get more value for my long, don't I? You know, I'm in at a lower level, and my stop losses can be even lower, and everything can be more lucrative in the long run. So again, you know, when you're trading a range, just remember it. That's what it is. We're trading a range. We just allow for that range to be fleshed out, and then you long into strength. Anyway, nothing is finished here. It's not the end. This is exactly what I've been talking about these last few days, and it's playing out as we speak. So I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.